right, we're joined now by the proprietor of GeneValentino.com. You can follow him on X at Gene Valentino. He's easy to find, and you can find him right here on State of the Nation. Gene, welcome back to State of the Nation. How are you this fine day?
Glad to be back with you, gentlemen. So many issues in different venues in different parts of the world, each with a different sense of significance here at home.
Absolutely, my friend. You know, maybe we have an infographic we can throw up, but let's talk about the spies who lie. Boy, I just can't let this go. What was that? 50 some odd intelligence agents, the experts, right? It says right there, the experts who falsely discredited Hunter Biden's laptop and still won't apologize. Do you think apologies are necessary at this point, Gene? I do.
We will need an apology from every one of them as a government official who knowingly conspired with the chief fabricator, a Mr. James Clapper, a man who was nearly charged himself for perjury for lying to Congress. These fabricators of lies, and the story you're talking about here, I'll put it up on it, my camera can catch it. This was the New York Post story dated March the 19th, 2022. Gentlemen, this story came out as a cover page on the New York Post. Now, there's a good dozen or so on that front page, but there's 51, as you said, Hesh, that signed a document that said that the Hunter Biden laptop was nothing more than a Russian hoax, when in fact it turned out to be an intent to deflect and distract again and claim that it was something that Trump was involved in, when it was in fact something that was real. Right now in the news, that's what I mentioned. Back here at home, we have a story that's hitting the news about the Hunter Biden laptop in the court case for Hunter Biden, which shows the evidence was really there. There's no dispute. Every one of those 51 people on that story we just talked about deserves to give an apology to America, not to mention Donald Trump, because that was the conspiracy that Timothy was talking about earlier that fed into the election fraud and the election hoax, which in certain circles in this nation, no one wants to talk about right now. Let's sweep it under the rug and move on. Let's just move on and pretend it never happened. Timothy was right. It did happen, and it's blatant, and it was in our face. And when the patriots stood up to say something about it, they were mocked and stifled by most of the fake news and castigated and cut off different social media platforms. Where are those platforms today? And in light of that, speaking of that, that's what I go back to these amendments to our Constitution. Who's going to do anything to create a penalty for the free speech that the social media platforms enjoyed, that allowed them to censor themselves the free speech of individuals? And who's going to penalize them for curtailing free speech at the expense of you and me? That's what I'd like to know.
Well, the answer, of course, is no one. And I don't want apologies. Apologies from liars are meaningless. I want guilty pleas. That's what right. We need. We need guilty pleas from each of those 51. And John Cipher was a year ahead of me in college. I was absolutely disgusted to see his name signed to that letter. And Gene, this is the way they roll. They'll tell a lie. They'll insist it's the truth. They'll vilify you for pointing out that they're lying. And then afterward, down the road, when it's too late to do anything, they'll say, yeah, we did it. So what? What are you going to do about it? And they do it over and over and over again. And I don't blame them for doing it, because they do it because the Republicans refuse to fight. I blame the Republicans for everything that's happened in the last 10 years because they're a bunch of weak-kneed, lily-livered, milquetoast, namby-pambies that refuse to fight. We need fighters for the country right now, and I see just a handful on the horizon.
Well stated, Timothy. I see Donald Trump as having been very clever in his first 4 years of office at pulling the trigger on the right people in the right place at the right time with measured balance and scrutiny before he did so. In this case, he's now, in effect, the titular head of the Republican Party and is going to have a lot of opportunity to correct these wrongs. And I do agree, a plea of guilty is required by those 51 people, including John Brennan, head of the CIA, not to mention intelligence agency director James Clapper, we mentioned a minute ago, mouthpiece today at CNN. My point is all 51 not only need to plead guilty, but then apologize to this nation, and then Trump needs to step up and direct Congress to put the kind of regulation in place to prohibit this kind of bad behavior from occurring again. You know, it's amazing. I've listened to him in the last 48 hours. Still no vitriol. He's angry. He has his right to be for the way he's been treated in New York, but I don't hear contempt or talk about revenge. I think he's steering he said, and he doesn't bring up Hillary. What have we forgotten? If you're going to bring up the 51 people on this laptop issue, why does Hillary get a pass? Why does Hillary get a pass?
She today compared him to Hitler. Class move.
Yeah, well, guess who's Hitler? Let's talk about Hitler then. Changing the subject oh so briefly. Here we are on D-Day, honoring those soldiers that remain in hitting the 100-year mark in age and a little older. These soldiers who fought for a country and a democracy that I'm having trouble finding today. We were fighting an enemy called the Nazis in Germany. The Nazis, or derivation thereof, are now working with Ukraine against Russia. And who's cooperating with them? The only nation in the world that's giving money to Ukraine, the United States of America. It's not alone. Blackrock, I heard you talking about earlier, and everyone involved in the European Union gave loans to Ukraine, which are now coming due. And they're expecting to be repaid. From what? From the money that we've just given to Ukraine? It was only a few episodes before when we talked that I said I wanted a complete transparency and audit on the budget and the funds we gave to Ukraine for just this reason. And how much of this complicit crime family, it used to be the Biden crime family, it's a complete cabal, it's a complete system of inappropriate, illegal behavior that transcends throughout the entire nation in the way we are funding Ukraine. If I was a congressman today, I would be right up there with the outspoken ones saying, hold on, I'm for human rights. I don't like Russia coming into Ukraine. Before we spend another damn dime of American taxpayer dollars over there, I want to see where that money's going.
Yeah.
And I'll say it right next. And you know who would support that? Those 100-year-old veterans who we honored today at D-Day in Normandy.
Amen.
Yeah, very well said, Gene, especially considering the fact that it's now coming out that Ukrainian men and boys of such a wide age range are being killed, murdered, dying in this war to the tune of 50,000 a month, whereas Russia is losing maybe 10,000 a month. So that's a 1-to-5 ratio. So I'm with you. If I was one of those Congress people, I'd be like, show me how this works. Show me how we win, and show me who we're actually fighting for and what this democracy actually is, because I see them shutting down elections. I see them calling martial law. I see them executing by torture journalists from foreign countries. This is not acceptable, and it's not what those men that gave their lives on D-Day would want for this country, for their legacy. It just doesn't fit. So, Gene, we're just about out of time. Anything you want to throw out there before we got to let you go?
Real quick note, deserves more time next time we chat. Since 2022, the EU and the United States have frozen $300 billion of Russian assets. Russia wants them back. The only people that are holding this up is the EU, who wants to get paid some debt service from Larry Fink at Blackrock and the rest of the EU. Not America. We give $150+ billion away, and we can't determine how much of that money is going to be coming back to the United States, how much of it's going to the Biden crime family, and how much of it is truly going to the defense of the innocent Ukrainians who deserve it the most.
Well said, Gene. Thank you very much. Follow Gene on X at Gene Valentino. Go to genevalentino.com for all things Gene Valentino, and check out the Grassroots Truthcast to keep up with Gene. And, of course, here at State of the Nation. Thanks, Gene. We'll look forward to your next appearance here on State of the Nation. This is today's News Talk, TNT.
I'm excited to announce we're having a huge MyPillow spring sale. And here's a few examples. Buy one of our MyPillow 2.0s, you get another MyPillow 2.0 absolutely free. Made with cooling technology, the best pillow ever just got even better. And this just in, 9 brand new colors and styles of our Percale bed sheets. They're made with the finest long staple cotton, and now you can save 50% or more. That's as low as $24.98. And for the first time this year, I'm bringing you our My Slippers and Sandals for as low as $25 a pair. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your MyPillow 2.0s. Buy one, get one free. Percale sheets as low as $24.98. My Slippers and Sandals as low as $25 a pair. And for a limited time, when you order $75 or more, your entire order ships absolutely free.